Welcome back to the Archin Podcast, your edutainment home for everything Archway, Cosmos, and the greater Web3. Today I'm joined by Ruwan Pereira, who handles BizDev and operations for Stargaze. We talk about what all Stargaze is currently offering as an NFT-centric app chain, what more they intend to build out, the future of NFTs, and theorize a bit about how Stargaze and Archway can better interoperate to provide the best possible experience both for developers and end users. Join the Stargaze Discord below and enjoy the conversation.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of Phi Labs or the Archway Protocol. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only.
Welcome back to the Archin Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Weisen, and joined today with special guest Ruwan Pereira, doing operations in BD over at Stargaze. Ruwan, welcome to the show.
Hi, very nice to meet you, Eric. Excited to be here.
So, Ruwan, before we dive into what's going on that's awesome at Stargaze and all the wonderful NFT upgrades that have taken place and are still coming, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your intro to your crypto, your intro to the cosmos?
Sure, yeah. Myself, I'm Ruwan. I've been at Stargaze for about a year and a half, since about October 2021. I'm traditionally from a media background. I actually went to film school and did media production for a good long while. I've known Shane since the pre-crypto days, when we met from like the music scene, and they kind of needed some operational help in October, and I just kind of worked with them for a little bit, and it pretty much turned into my life starting 2022. And how I got into crypto, I learned about it shortly after college, and I thought it was a good idea, but I thought it was more of less a toy, right? I actually got my first Bitcoin in, I think it was 2015, and I bought that through a friend because I didn't trust the online markets. And yeah, I think I still have a little bit of that original Bitcoin left. And then how I got into Cosmos was, I've known Shane for a long time, right? And he's been building on Cosmos, I think, since like 2017 or 2018. So I was kind of aware about it. And then around, I think it was 2021, I started getting more into Terra, and we met up again at a Terra space camp. And we started, just diving deeper into Cosmos. And again, that's 2021. I started working at Stargaze in October. So yeah, it was kind of serendipitous. Everything worked out pretty well.
That's awesome. One thing I love about NFT people is it's all of the artists that have technical capabilities that are getting into the world. It's not just the people, I studied computer science and then I got into engineering. It's like, no, it's the people who wanted to create already and are exploring this new medium. So it's great to see more musicians, more people that have studied film like yourself get into the space and really build out things in a way that genuinely does improve art going forward. So great to have you here. Glad you've known Shane so long and in general, a fan. Can you, for people who aren't familiar with Stargaze, which shouldn't be very much of our audience, but can you give a general overview of what Stargaze is, what you guys have done and are going to do?
Yeah, sure. So Stargaze is an app chain. It's a layer 1 with NFTs at the core and the focus. So our main products right now are Launchpad, Marketplace, and names. We allow anyone to permissionlessly launch a collection on Stargaze. It'll be displayed on the front end, and they're free to trade using the Stars token. Stargaze Names is our first foray into the more social parts of blockchain. So I guess a little history. Stargaze went through a couple of different iterations to where we are right now. It was originally conceptualized as a social product, right? A social network. And before you have those social networks, you need to have content, right? And the primitive of content in Web3 are NFTs. So those didn't really exist in the Cosmos. So we had to create that at first, right? And so NFTs weren't really so much a thing in the cosmos until Stargaze came around. So now we have that foundation built, and then names are like another layer built on top of that.
So what's the difference between a regular NFT and the names? And you've mentioned previously that there's these names that's separate from your guys' DNS, but you also have your own DNS. What all can you do with naming on Stargaze?
Yeah, sure. So names are NFTs. So names equal NFTs. They're the same thing. They're non-fungible. Your name, Eric, my name, Ruwan, Archway.stars, which I hope you guys still have that one. The names are an entire collection kind of on their own, right? And you can trade them through that way. They're not totally different because they are NFTs. They give you some more utility though. So for example, you can send NFTs to a name, right? You can send fungible tokens to a name. You have to first associate your name with an address. So me as Ruwan.stars, I could still own like 20 or 30 different names under that account, but I could only associate one address to that wallet. So you don't really do that with NFT, like the image NFTs, even though you can have an image as your like profile picture with your name. Now, if you've already associated a name on Stargaze, you can also automatically get a stars page. So, for example, if you go to ruwan.stars.page, you will kind of see my own personal page that has, let me see what it looks like. It has my profile picture set up. And if I created collections, you would see the collections I've created. And you're also able to verify your Twitter handle, your Telegram handle, and your Discord handle, and it'll display your stars and your Cosmos address. So we're building that product out to be kind of like the link tree for Cosmos or Web3. I do also want to mention one cool thing about names is that it was designed with a Harbinger tax, which is actually inspired from Ethereum. It was Vitalik's post on I think like domain renewals or Harbinger taxes. So the idea is that you will kind of like lease a name. No, you'll purchase a name for the cost. It varies from a 3-character, a 4-character, or 5-character name, and you hold that until anybody bids on it. So as soon as you purchase it, it immediately goes onto the open market and anyone can bid on that name. In 12 months, you would have to, if somebody has bid on that name, you would have to pay, I believe, is 0.5% of the highest bid. So it prevents domain squatting. That's kind of the idea behind it.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
If there's no bid, then there's no renewal fee.
Cool. I've been hit by domain squatters before, so that's nice forward thinking there. Tell me a little bit more about the Stargaze team. So you mentioned joining in 2021 and that connection to Shane. How many people are on the team? What do they all do?
Yeah, we're probably about 12 to 15 people right now. We've got different people, front end, back end, people who work on the chain, smart contract devs, community and BD support. It's still pretty much run like a startup, right? So we do a lot of other stuff. We're constantly, the core devs are constantly in the Discord as well, like replying to support tickets and helping people out. But yeah, we're small, but I think we punch above our weight. I think I saw something where we have the ninth highest amount of active users, I think, in the Cosmos right now. I think it's maybe like 6 if you take out centralized chains like OKX or Kronos. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen their Twitter spaces all the time with different content creators because it is, NFT platforms should be the community or social hub of really anything in Web3 because that's where you're interacting directly peer to peer, much more than just like using DeFi. So it's nice that you guys have expanded the community like that. Tell me what separates Stargaze from other NFT protocols. We're seeing a lot of fighting between like Blur and OpenSea right now. Obviously, we're on Cosmos instead of Ethereum. But what can you do different, and what can you provide more than they can?
Sure. Yeah. First off, love Ethereum. They really kicked off NFTs. When I first saw CryptoKitties, I thought it was a joke. I was like, look at this thing that's just like clogging up the chain. I didn't totally get it. It took me a while to get into it. Blur is great. Ethereum is great. We offer a different solution. One of that is zero gas fees, right? So there's no gas to transact on Stargaze. You can mint an NFT for zero gas. You can send an NFT for zero gas. There is a small listing fee of 0.5 stars. So we have fees as opposed to gas. So anyone can come and create a collection permissionlessly, and it costs 3,000 stars, which I think right now is about $27. If you did that on Ethereum, it would be a lot more. And I think just to send an NFT could be a couple of dollars, right? Just to do a simple transaction. So it's much less expensive. It's also safer because contracts need to go through governance. Platforms like Ethereum or Solana or Polygon, anyone can deploy a contract, and you've seen so many times that there are malicious contracts that go into people's wallets and drain them. That has never been the case on Stargaze because all contracts have to be community voted by governance to be deployed. So in that sense, it's a whole lot safer. And we have our own token for our chain, right? So that allows us to prioritize certain things. So like we're an NFT chain, so maybe we want to prioritize minting or trading on the marketplace. You can't really do that on Ethereum because it's a completely generalized blockchain. And overall, yeah, we're focused on NFTs, right? And our motto is we build what the community wants. So like people are telling us exactly what they want all of the time, which I'm sure you get that at Archway too. So our community is kind of our product team, which is really great. And we only really need to focus on the NFT vertical. And with that said, though, we have had requests to have platforms like Blur as well, right? So Stargaze is like building the Ethereum blockchain and building OpenSea, right? Because it is an app chain. So we have a lot of people so Blur is like for the professional traders, right? And whereas OpenSea is more for like the retail traders. So like Stargaze kind of has to be the platform for all of them. In the future, we may see more specialized platforms for dedicated trading, similar to Blur, like a pro.stargaze.zone.
Okay. So I like that Coinbase Pro analogy. That'll be kind of neat. Now, you guys have a lot of functionality already. You're talking about building out more. Of what you guys offer, what is being used the most? Where is the highest demand currently?
The highest demand, I believe, would be Marketplace. Yeah, so Marketplace. I can pull up some volume data, some metrics here. Let me see here. So about 4.4 million in Marketplace volume, and that kind of ranks us top 15 blockchains by NFT volume. And then I do believe Launchpad is like twice as much as its primary sales, right? So it'd be about 8.3 million. But yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone uses the marketplace. That's kind of the big driver of the community.
Not bad. And you mentioned earlier the stars token, that you use stars for this kind of stuff. How exactly does stars capture value, and what all utility does it offer?
Yeah, so stars is a staking token, right? It's a governance token. It's a fee token. You need stars to create on Stargaze, and you need 0.5 stars to list an NFT on Stargaze. Also have fair burn, actually. I kind of forgot about that. So all fees on Stargaze are fair burned. So that means that half of the fees are completely burned and taken out of circulation, and then the other half is returned to stakers. So that allows Stargaze to be deflationary or have a deflationary aspect. Now with names, it's a little different. I believe it's 50% goes to the community pool, and then the other 50% gets fair burned. So 25% of that goes to stakers, and the other 25% goes to gets burned. Liquid staking, yeah. So you can liquid stake your token, right, through Quicksilver and Stride. At the moment, that may be it.
Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's still early stage. All of these Web3 groups are early stage right now, and that's already a lot of utility. Everything that you do on the protocol, you have to have or use stars in some way, shape, or form. And then as you build more stuff, there'll be more things to do with it. So totally fine. And from the tokenomics side, I like the idea of counter inflation, where you have inflation, which the purpose of it is to decentralize perpetual overhead, and then you counter it with deflation through the utility of the token. So right idea.
Yeah. Last time, oh, here we go. Fair burn data. We've done close to 8 million total fair burned. So about half of that has gone to stakers and half of that has been redistributed. So
very cool. And is that dollars or is that tokens?
That's tokens. Yeah.
Awesome.
Also, this is also interesting to mention. I know a big part of Archway is the incentives for developers. So I don't know if Stargaze was the first one to do that, but I think since we launched the chain in October, we did have a specific kind of clause in there. So part of the fair burn, if a smart contract developer deploys a contract, they can claim a percentage at fair burn. It's currently 10%, and there's a proposal right now to increase that to 50%. So, for example, let's say you create a minter, right? So right now we don't have a Dutch auction minter. You can create a Dutch auction minter, and you can earn essentially 5% off every mint that happens. So, and that also includes the fee for creating the contract.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Incentivize builders. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're in the same boat.
so you tease the idea of bringing in more of an industrial side marketplace, kind of like Blur, Coinbase Pro, if you will. What else is directly in the pipeline for Stargaze?
Yeah, sure. So stuff we're working on right now are our own AMM. So it's right now, as you know, it's difficult to get people onto any other like Cosmos chain, right? You have to buy your Atom token. You have to, transfer IBC to Osmosis and trade it. And, it's possible that Osmosis can go down, right? So we want to make it much easier for people to onboard. And the first step of that is creating our own AMM. So something like the Stars Atom pool and a Stars USDC pool. So that'll allow easy on-ramping with people like Kado and other fiat on-ramps. So AMM is one. DAOs are another. That's something that people have been asking for more or less since day one. And NFT DAOs will be a thing. You'll be able to vote with your NFT, right? Create your own community. Eventually, you'll be able to create your own governance token from that DAO. And I believe we're going to be tying DAOs into NFT staking or like super cool staking. So the tokenomics of Stargaze, 45% of block emissions go to NFT staking. Right now, that is going into the community pool. But that'll eventually go to people who are staking their NFTs. So the way we're envisioning it's going to work is that there's going to be a collection, and then say like Bad Kids, right? They can go to chain governance to request to be, a collection that's stakeable. And then you will stake that NFT to a validator, and that will allow you to earn extra staking rewards. So simply staking the NFT won't do anything. You have to add stars to basically to that NFT to earn the extra yield on it. And then if you have any extra stars, you'll just earn regular yield. One of the issues with NFT staking that you've probably seen on other platforms is it doesn't really do anything, right? It doesn't help secure the network. It's kind of like a bribe. So we're trying to create a program where it actually helps the network and secures it.
I'm also building an AMM on top of Archway, and we're doing that exact same thing. Where we're equipping NFTs that are equipable will give you like a multiplier for your weighted LP.
Very cool. Yeah. And so, also you guys might be doing this too, but we're looking at creating like LP positions as NFTs, right? So
Love it.
similar to Uniswap. And then there's could be dynamic NFTs as well. So
Hey man, we'd love to work with you on it. Could you get more into what super cooled staking is?
so super cool staking is kind of what I mentioned, where you'll be able to stake your NFT to a validator and then kind of fill it up to a certain amount. So like let's say staking is 20%, right? When you have an NFT, you're able to earn, let's say 30% on it, but only up to the floor value of that NFT. So let's say bad kids are 10,000, right? You can put 20,000 stars with that NFT, and then 10,000 of those stars will earn 30%, and then the other 10,000 will earn the regular 20% yield. So it will lock up kind of those floor value NFTs in staking, and kind of related to that, to the AMM and staking is infinity pools, which is our version of SudoSwap. And you'll be able to like create a pool of NFTs to trade against stars. That's being worked on currently. I think we're probably like 60% through with that, 70%, maybe more.
That's super cool. A lot of people are really focused on soulbound NFTs and maybe fractionalizing soulbound NFTs, and that's cool. I'm personally a huge fan of the idea of fungible NFTs, where each one is independent and whatnot, but the focus of them is not the rarity or the art. The focus of them is the utility they offer, and each one's in theory worth as much as the rest of them. And there's no reason why those couldn't have direct liquidity pools. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we're seeing that on Ethereum as well, right? So like Ethereum is kind of 18 months ahead of us, and so we get to learn from what they're doing as well, right? And we see stuff like SudoSwap, and we see like the royalty discussion, and we know that's going to spill over to Cosmos. Like it already has, right? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those work out when they finally do get deployed.
fascinating. So, in a large scale, what do you think is the next wave of excitement or utility or the next unlock for what's going to happen for NFTs?
I think the royalty discussion is going to be big. Like it's already happening right now, right? We need to figure out a way to make it worthwhile for creators as well. Like the infinity pool and the SudoSwap idea may only make sense for people who create large collections. It may not make sense for one-of-one creators. But also like the composability in DeFi, right? Like we're kind of already seeing that again on the Ethereum side, and that's what we're trying to bring to the Cosmos side. But yeah, imagine being able to even like create, like you have your NFT LP, right? And then you can create a pool with other like bad kids. So like there's a bunch of cool stuff that I can't even think about, but we're creating the foundations for people to be able to build on top of those. Another thing is, tokenizing real world assets. People have talked a lot about that. Personally, I think we're a little far from doing that because there's so much like rigmarole and regulation you have to do to like, let's say like tokenize a house. I'm not even sure how that would work in the United States. I think I've heard of some people in Dubai maybe doing that. But I know there's some people working on it. Also like NFT rentals. We've talked to people about doing that. I think there is like a protocol on Ethereum that's doing that, but that's something that we want to bring to Stargaze as well, right? And you mentioned fractionalizing NFTs. So we've talked to people about doing that. It really only makes sense when you have really high value NFTs, right? So I think maybe the highest value NFT right now on Stargaze is probably like $10,000. It may make sense to fractionalize it. It may not, but we need to have like more NFTs that are worth a lot more to really have the reason to do it. Like we haven't had much of a demand for it yet, at least for us. And again, we kind of try to build what people want that has the most usage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that'll become much more of a thing as we are tokenizing real world assets. If you have the deed to a car, the deed to a house, that makes more sense to fractionalize than a piece of art. But it's nice that at least development towards it is taking place. Now, obviously, you guys are an app chain that aim to serve the rest of the Cosmos and greater Web3. How can we, as another chain in Cosmos, better integrate Stargaze NFTs? How can we work with you guys?
Yeah, this is a great first step. I guess it depends on what you guys want to do, right? So we are working on ICS 721, right? Which is, and Game of NFTs is about to start off right now. Are you guys involved with that?
That's a great question. I know we're following it. I'm not sure if anybody's actively involved in it.
So Stargaze, I know we're pretty involved in it. I know we wrote the first bit of code. Arc Protocol and IrisNet, I think, are the three big ones. But that allows NFTs to be transferred within the Cosmos, just like fungible tokens right now, right? So you can move your NFT from Stargaze to Archway to Juno to Osmosis, and that's something that will benefit the entire like ecosystem and community. So that would probably be like a really good way to get involved and work with us. But other ways, feel free to build tools on Stargaze. I know you guys have a lot on your plate right now as well. But we are both Cosmos chains, right? And we share like the base development layer. And I think a lot of our tools can, work cross-platform.
Yeah, the future is interchain. Everybody acknowledges that that's the ethos of Cosmos. That's why we have app chains. And Archway is really working to position themselves currently as kind of the user experience, the user interface for the rest of the multi-chain, where people, if they want to do stuff on Stargaze or on Osmosis or Juno, they can access whatever application they want to through Archway, and it creates a monetizable portal for developers as well, where they can set their own contract premium or whatnot. Like, hey, yeah, go use this from this one centralized place where you can now use anything in the Cosmos, but whoever's building that portal for their application elsewhere, it's an additional monetization point. So we definitely want to provide access to everything you guys are doing.
Cool. Yeah. You guys may want to talk to Arc about that, because that, like, their whole deal is being able to like mint cross-chain NFTs, and they want to, that's why they've kind of taken a lot of the reins of ICS 721, and they're helping do a lot of the organization for Game of NFTs. So there's probably some pretty good collaboration there. So like you'd be able to like basically use Archway to mint on like Juno or Stargaze or wherever else, right?
Yeah. That would be awesome.
It's coming for sure. Yeah. And you guys are still in testnet though, right?
Yeah. Well, we should be mainnet in a couple months.
Okay, cool.
Now, while you have our audience, while you're here, what can our listeners, our viewers do to get actively involved in Stargaze right now? Where would you have them go?
I would have them go to our Discord. So head on over to discord.gg/Stargaze and chat with the community. People are very, very friendly, and they want you to know about their NFTs. We also have a Telegram. If you are a developer, we have developer channels in the Discord. And reach out to me. Reach out to any of the ambassadors. If you want to create a project, it's so easy. We have no-code solutions for creators with Stargaze Studio, where you have your images, you have your metadata, and within the course of 20 or 30 minutes, you can create an NFT collection. We have dedicated support for creators to launch their collections in our Discord. So if you go to the Stargaze Studio channel in Discord, you will have people who are pretty much there 24/7 to help you out. And visit stargaze.zone. Find an NFT you like. See what you identify with.
Got to go get a name for your wallet. Absolutely. Yeah, Ruwan, thank you so much for hopping on. We have the links to the Discord and Stargaze.zone here in the episode description. If people want to get more in touch with the team, want to do biz dev, or hear more about operations and want to get in touch with you directly, how can people reach you?
For sure, yeah. So we have a partnerships form as well at the bottom of our website. So you fill that out. That's the easiest way for us to know kind of what you want to do and how we can work with you. I'm in Discord as Ruwan. I'm Don Ruwan on Telegram. Feel free to reach out. And more than happy to work with people and set up calls.
All right. Thank you so much for hopping on the show.
All right. Thanks a lot, Eric. Yeah, you have a good day.